We need to track down Peridot.
That's what I've been saying. About time you got on that.
She came to Earth with a job to do, and odds are she's still gonna try to do it.
For someone with future vision, this is probably the best time you could be using it. I don't like that odds are talk. Anyone in the know could come up with that one. I've mentioned Steven having a million of the same shirt before. It was his dad's old merchandise. But I like that the show takes the cartoon trope of the main character wearing the same outfit every episode and has a believable explanation for it. I like when the show embraces the fact that it's a cartoon. There's a lot to unpack in this one shot. You got the bits magnets at the top, Fish Stew Pizza's phone number, I bet that gets called a lot, another seagull with no webbed feet, and buy engine oil. I think that's a callback to Reformed, where Amethyst asks Steven for engine oil to put on a sandwich.
This is a lot. I bet this folding would go faster if Ruby and Sapphire were here.
I'm sure they'd be glad to see you, Steven, but I am not unfusing for laundry.
Knowing how this episode goes toward the end, this line is super obvious. You know what's awesome though? This show has pretty much stopped reminding the audience about stuff in that ham-fisted way. Sure, they're reminding the audience things, but it's not like back in season 1 where they kept saying things like, Steven is half human. These are gentle reminders that fit way better into the dialogue.
Injectors? What are those?
You've already seen them. Well, you've seen them disabled. If Peridot reactivates them, they'll pick right up where they left off, planting gems in the crust of the Earth.
We've never seen an injector do its thing, other than in this hologram demonstration, which I think leaves way too much up to the imagination. Maybe even Pearl doesn't know how they work. Don't tell me about the one from the movie. That one was doing something different.
We can't let Peridot restart gem production here. If we do, the entire planet will become...
Garnet! That mouth!
Stool check. Everything seems to be in order here. Carry on.
Steven?
Come on, that means you too, right?
Gasp! The crystal gems are going on a mission! Steven seems just as surprised as I am. Would you believe me if I said the last crystal gem mission was Rose's scabbard? And all they were doing was gathering old weapons. This bit with Steven nodding was used in promos for a bunch of episodes. The guy announcing the episodes would say something and Steven would nod along. It was kind of clever, actually.
Let's do a thorough check of the perimeter. That way we can monitor any future entry.
Sounds good to me.
Don't go wandering off like you understood your role and all that.
Still stuck on miserable planet. The fusion experiments are developing properly.
Aha, fusion experiments. I wonder what those could be. Also, Peridot's back. She gets to stay a villain for a while, and I love villain Peridot.
A few have even emerged early.
I don't know what that sound was, but I like it. Play it back.
Are the other ones with you?
This is the longest stretch of silence in the whole episode. It's also the funniest moment in the episode. Visual jokes hit so much harder than spoken ones, I swear.
Peridot!
There she is!
Oh no, that's a good reaction face. I'm surprised I don't see this one more. Feel free to screenshot. I'll say it again, I like when this show embraces being a cartoon. You get shit like Peridot running up a sheer cliff. It's so goofy, but it's awesome. Peridot's limb enhancers do have weapons, like a Mega Man-style buster, but we don't see them until later episodes. I wonder why she doesn't use them here. And we see her do this shit, which is awesome. God, I wish she got to keep these things later in the show. I also love her evil victory laugh. Just listen to it. Garnet very much does not have her hands around Steven in this shot, but she does have a hold of him in the next one.
If Peridot's mission was to reactivate the kindergarten, the injectors would be on. Look, they're not.
Are you sure these things even could still work after however many thousand years of sitting here? Maybe. We've seen other gem tech still active, and it's probably just as old. I bet these big red crystals on top are like magic batteries or engines that power them. I wonder if they took one of these apart to power the temple. New headcanon unlocked, I guess.
Let's see what she was actually doing. Down here.
Oh.
This didn't get sealed up after Marble Madness? I mean, I guess not. Good thing it's not full of water when they go down there.
Is the strong part of you Ruby and the wise part of you Sapphire?
It's all of both. When two gems combine, it creates something greater than the sum of their parts.
I've noticed a lot of the fans of this show still don't get this after all these years. Garnet isn't just Ruby and Sapphire in a trench coat, the same way you aren't an exact halfway point between your mom and your dad. A fusion is a different person, and they're gonna have their own personality and their own experiences. Of course, a fusion is going to be a lot like their counterparts, just like you share a lot of features from your parents. What I guess I'm saying is that Garnet is like the daughter of Ruby and Sapphire in a way.
I don't know how, but this place is even creepier than the last time we were here.
Yes, Steven, thank you for spelling that one out for the audience at home. I love this scene, but Steven talks a lot and it really takes me out of the moment more than I'd like.
Whoa!
Ooh, yeah, body horror is back on the menu. We had Reformed a few episodes ago, but this is proper cut and dry body horror. To this day, I'm still surprised that things like this were allowed to air on Cartoon Network. I'm glad it did, because this is fucking awesome.
Ooh.
Also, the music. The background music is all discordant, intentionally unpleasant to listen to. And this scene wouldn't have the same impact without it. There are a lot of beautiful background tracks in the show, but I think it really shines when it gets to do stuff like this. Oh, that wasn't the Pachoo I remember. I don't remember having a Pachoo in a long time. I'm worried I missed a bunch. Did they just stop using that sound effect at a certain point? Fuck yeah. No, it didn't work this time. Steven's using one of the monsters as a weapon here before killing it. It didn't drop a gem shard though.
These were crystal gems, shattered into pieces. They were buried together.
That's the most fucked up part about these fusion monsters. They're made of gem shards, meaning there is a partial consciousness from multiple different gems that used to be alive. Imagine dying on a battlefield only to wake up as some sort of Frankenstein monster. But not with your whole brain. A couple other brains, all thinking their own thoughts. Honestly, it's a miracle that these monsters are able to move around and attack instead of just writhing on the floor. Not to take you out of the scene, but we are at 9 for the cry streak now. I'm not 100% sure why Garnet almost unfuses here other than being terrified out of her fucking mind. If I had to guess, it's mostly a PTSD response. If these were crystal gems, she's probably remembering the war and seeing these gems get shattered and not being able to do anything about it.
We couldn't have known they would do this. This is where they've been. All the ones we couldn't find. They've been here the whole time. Rose couldn't have known. This was punishment for the rebellion. It's not our fault.
This scene with Garnet talking to herself switches between her left side and her right side, where only her blue eye or her red eye are visible at a time. The idea being that this is internal dialogue between Ruby and Sapphire. Even though I said fusions weren't just their counterparts are still there. Usually they're on the same wavelength enough that they don't have to have dialogue like this. We've seen the same thing happen with Stevani as well.
We're back. Garnet, we lost Peridot. Her fingers were too fast for us.
That's what she said? I'm not sure if that works how I wanted it to.
What are these things?
Put them down.
What?
We need to poof and bubble all of them. We can't let any escape.
There it is. Garnet says poof. That word really takes me out of it when it's used totally seriously like this. If it was Steven, I could accept it, but I still think Garnet should have a better word for it.
Do we even have plumbing up here? How do you get the washer and dryer to work?
Magic.
That's my job. I'm the analyzing guy. To be fair, I would have come up with the same answer.
What Homeworld did. Taking the shattered parts of fallen gems and combining them. Those gems weren't asked permission. Fusion is a choice. Those gems weren't given a choice. It isn't right. It isn't fusion.
This scene is tonally different, like way different from the rest of the show. It's one of the most serious, grounded scenes in the whole show. This is the first time the show touches on a political stance that Homeworld takes versus the stance the Crystal Gems take. Up until now, the Crystal Gems versus the Homeworld Gems was simply us versus them, without any real reason why Homeworld were seen as the bad guys. Now we get to see some genuinely heinous stuff they were actively doing. Not stuff they've done historically, like running the kindergartens, but present acts of evil. Remember what Garnet says about fusion being a choice as well. That'll become relevant a few episodes from now. This is also the longest falling action in any episode of the show. Some episodes end in the middle of something intense, but here it's kind of just a chill conversation between Steven and Garnet. The first time I saw this episode, I wasn't a fan of this ending, but now I can see that it's giving you some time to come down from that fucked up scene before. You need a little bit of time to breathe after that one.
Oh no!
Don't want to break up a pair.
Yeah, you're right. They belong together.
One of these socks is red and the other is blue. I wonder if it's supposed to symbolize something. There's a lot going on in this episode, and I'm worried I wasn't able to unpack all of it in this video. Because there's so much going on, I really do enjoy it. Compared to the rest of Season 2, though, it's not one of my favorites. We got the plot moving forward finally. They return to the kindergarten again, Peridot makes another appearance, the reveal of the fusion monsters, some Garnet and general fusion lore is really nice. We'll get to see more Garnet and fusion lore later this season as well. This episode was kind of a primer for all that. All of these things are new threads that'll keep going throughout the season. As cool as impactful as these fusion monsters are, though, they actually don't appear all that often. Even regular gem monsters kind of fade away later in the show, but after Season 2 is done, you almost forget these guys were even a thing. I think they had to tone it back, because holy shit, this episode would have definitely freaked out some kids watching. And if you want to see new episodes a week before they premiere on YouTube, you can subscribe to my Patreon for just a couple bucks. The link is in the description, as always. Biggest shoutouts of all goes to my first Grandmaster patron, Scala LD. They were the first Journeyman patron, now they're the first Grandmaster patron. I guess that means they're the Grandmaster of all patrons. I added that role without any ideas worth an actual $100, so I'm open to ideas. Shoutouts as well to Geeky Game Guru, master of being really, really evil. I don't know what that entails. There aren't any other details here. Shoutouts as well to my Journeyman patrons, Henri Wickers, Bananas Are Violet, Boom Blorp, Buy Engine Oil, Dr. Moon, Gage M, Gizmo, Horsey Jumper, JK Gamer 2146, Max Buchek, Murky Water 6, Nataba G, how do you say that? Netabag, Rose Quartz, Sam Bishop, Silly Alien Lady, The One True Fusion, Yotawo, and ZT the Fish Guy. Next episode, we need to talk. No, that's the name of the episode. We need to talk.